Forest 1, Liverpool 1. I'll take that. I'm alright with that. Especially given all the other results that happened. They'd won 7 games in a row before today. And we're the form team, that includes us. So going away and getting a draw is perfectly okay. Chelsea blew it at home to Bournemouth. Man City blew it away to Brentford. So right now we stay. This is why it's such a big thing to not lose today. We stay 6 clear of Forest with a game in hand, which would have looked very, very different if we hadn't pulled that back in the second half. We're 7 clear of Arsenal with the same games. We're 10 clear of Chelsea with a game in hand. And we're 12 clear of City with a game in hand. That's how it stands. So no harm done at all today. And let's be honest, it could have been more. So let's get into the game. First half, I think that was Slot's chosen 11 at the moment. It's becoming more and more apparent who the back 5 is, who the midfield 3 is, as his first choice. And I think at the moment, with Jota having been out for a while, that front 3 is the first choice as well. So it was full strength. The game was so predictable. It was so predictable. Based on all the stats, you knew that it was going to be 70% Liverpool possession and Forest with this on the break. And it started exactly like that. I think we had the ball for the entire first 7 minutes, or it seemed like. And then they get a break. The ball comes to Elanga. He hits it to Wood, and Wood scores. And it was so preventable and so obvious that it was going to happen. But we didn't prevent it, did we? And we're 1-0 down, and we've got it all to do. I'm not going to talk too much about the first half, because I think it's more important to talk about the second half, because the first half, we weren't at it. We had the most possession, and we had the most shots. But we were taking pot shots from all over the place, all about 25-30 yards out, and ballooning them into the crowd, and the creative spark wasn't there. We were labouring. It was all a bit too pedestrian. It was all a bit too slow, and Forest just defended en masse. They had one other shot, I think, in that first half. They had 3 shots and 2 on target in the first half. We had 9 and none on target in the first half. It was hard work. It was a hard watch. You knew that at some point, or at least this is what I thought, at some point Forest would tire mentally and physically, and we would have the options of bringing on some class players, and hopefully it would make the difference. At least that's what I was thinking at half time. And then the second half started, and we upped the tempo straight away. It was very obvious that we were going to go for it from the very start. Forest don't ever change. And they didn't change, and Slot must have known this. He must have known that they're not going to suddenly come out with some different tactic, because that's what they've done all season. And slowly but surely we started to make inroads, and you could see they were getting more and more desperate. Nico Williams, little shit. What a game he had. He's an ex-Liverpool player, so he deserves a mention, but bloody hell, until he eventually had to go off because he was absolutely knackered, he didn't give Salah hardly any room at all, and he played him well. But then it all changed. What an option it is to have Diogo Jota available on the bench. And he came on, and I'd said before the ball was kicked, if it doesn't go quite right, we've always got Jota on the bench. Tsimikas came on as well. We get a corner, Tsimikas takes it, and while all of our big players, the Van Dijks and Kanate and everyone else hadn't got a sniff from our corners, little Jota, boom, straight in, finds that pocket of space. I don't know how he does it, because he just finds a bit of space in the box that only he seems to find, and he just nods it past the keeper, and within 22 seconds of him coming on, we're all square. We got to give Arne Slot credit as well. He took off Kanate. When he brought on Jota and Tsimikas, he took off Robertson and Kanate, and he changed the shape, because he said, you know what, these are not going to do anything different, so I can afford to be a bit more proactive and set up in a different way that is going to cause Nottingham Forest more problems. And that's exactly what happened. After the goal, it was all Liverpool. Their goalkeeper, I mentioned him in a video I did the other day, looking at all the title rivals. he's absolutely superb. I've been watching him, and the saves that he makes, and he did it again today. He was the difference between 1 point and 3 points today. Fair play to him. And when we did beat him, it was saved off the line. We were peppering them. They couldn't get out. Salah, he had a bit of an off day. He kept picking the wrong shot or taking shots that weren't really on. And he had one effort that was quite easily saved, to be honest, and he put a few over the bar. Szoboszlai had one that was deflected. That, you know, the deflection was taking it in, but the keeper saves it. Jota had another couple of efforts. One that he blasts at the keeper. It was unlucky because it hit the keeper's shin. He spread himself, but he got lucky that it hit his shin. But that's what great keepers do, don't they? In that second half, in the last 25-30 minutes, we were excellent and fully deserved to win that game. And they got away with it in the end, because, as I say, they only had 3 shots on target in the whole game, and we had 20 odd. And after having none on target in the first half, we had a whole pile of them in the second half. Just one little moan I want to have, and that bloody Kavanagh referee. You know what teams like Forest are going to do? If you give them a lead, they're going to hang on to it by hook or by crook. And they did, by falling over every chance they get, faking injuries, faking head injuries, every single method of time wasting that you don't get booked for. And they did it, and Kavanagh fell for it, hook, line and sinker, every bloody time. Anyway, he wasn't the reason we drew, but it's getting to the point now, I don't know what we can do about it, but they've got to somehow figure out these time wasting tactics by these teams when they're 1-0 up. They're the ones that get cramped, they're the ones that get all the injuries, they're the ones that get head injuries from corners. The team that's behind never does. Something has to be done. Anyway, one of the things that I've been asked a few times of late, and got asked again today, why can't we start the game like we finish it? And I think there's a really big reason for that. At the start of a game, our opposition, they know we're better than them. So they put it all in, mentally and physically, they're there. And then in the second half, we're so relentless that they just can't keep it up. And by the time it gets to 60-65 minutes, they're absolutely knackered. And we're just piling it on, and in the end, they can't keep us out. So that's the reason. It's not because I think we start slow and other teams start faster than us. I think it's just that they've actually got the physical and mental conditioning to keep with us for 45 minutes, and they don't have it to keep with us for the whole 90. On to the shout-outs. I'm only going to pick one player today, and that is the incredible Jota. He's utter class. I actually rate him as one of the cleverest strikers I've ever seen to play for the club. The pockets he finds, the cleverness of his runs, his positioning, his heading ability, he's able to sneak through defenders, the creativity of his passing. He's the whole package, and he is absolutely superb. And now that he is back fit, I fully expect we're going to see a lot more of him. He was brilliant, and he did end up being the game changer and almost won it for us as well. So Diogo Jota, superb, mate, absolutely superb. I'm going to give the kudos, the shout out to the manager as well. He started with the strongest team, I think, and then he brought on the right players at the right time. He brought on Jota just when we needed him. He gave Andy Robertson a break, brought on Tsimikas, but he changed the shape, and that change of shape was instrumental in us taking over control of that game and dominating that last 25 minutes. And only through brilliant goalkeeping and a bit of luck and a bit of wayward finishing did we not win that game. So that goes to my third shout out, and really it is to the whole attacking unit of that last 30 minutes, because they were trying everything. They weren't wasting the passes, and they weren't in general taking the wrong shots. They were being far more creative. Forest were being run ragged, and as I say, Forest in the end got away with a draw. And don't forget, this is against the team who was second in the league, at home on their patch, with the crowd roaring them on, and we completely dominated them for that last 30 minutes. So it ends 1-1. It's another away game without defeat, this time against the top 4 team. We've played 10 away, won 7 and drawn 3. By far and away the best away form in the whole division. We've played 20 games now, and it's still only 1 defeat this season. Chelsea and City are absolutely miles behind us. Are Forest really a challenger? Are they really going to score enough goals? Are they really going to get enough points playing like that in the remainder of the season? You know, teams drop off towards the end of a season when the going gets really tough. I just can't see them clawing back a 6-point deficit and they played the game more, which leaves Arsenal. They're really our closest challenges in terms of they've got a game in hand, but they're 7 behind us. They've got a striking crisis. I think Jesus is now out for a while. He's not that great anyway, but he's another striker who now they don't have available to them. They can actually get to 4 points behind us tomorrow, although they'll have played the game more. So come on, Ange. I'm your fan again, as of now, for 24 hours anyway. And come on, Dominic Solanke. Come on, mate. Put Arsenal to the sword for us, will you? So, given all of that, I think we're in amazing shape. Even with a draw today, we're in amazing shape going into the last 18 games of the season. But it doesn't get any easier, does it? Because the next game on Saturday is away to Brentford. They've got the second best home form in the league behind us, and we've got the best away form. So it's going to be another big challenge. All I'll say is bring it on, because I'm feeling really, really confident about the mentality and the ability of this team to make this season something special. You'll never walk alone. See you soon. Ta-ra.